If you are a trophy collector, then you know that there are some platinum trophies that will always elude you because the dreaded online trophies servers have been shut down, and unfortunately, those platinums are no longer obtainable. That's what we're going to be talking about today. But hello everyone and welcome back to another video. Welcome back to another trophy collecting video. Today we're going to take a look at 10 platinum trophies that I can no longer obtain because there are online specific trophies. Servers have been shut down, so unfortunately, I will never be able to get them. We're also going to take a look at 5 platinum trophies that I also don't think I'll ever be able to earn. Not because there's any online specific trophies, but just because they are too dang difficult. And I just don't think I'm going to have the patience to earn them. But definitely let me know in the comment section below, what are unobtainable platinums for yourself that you can no longer earn because they're either online specific trophies or just ones that you'd love to have, but the trophy list is maybe just too difficult to grind out. You can also take a look at a lot of my other trophy collecting videos. I did a Road to 100 Platinums video, taking a look at some of my rarest platinums, some of my most common, and a lot of other stuff out there too that you can take a look at as well. But without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right in. All right, to get us kicked off here, we are going to be looking at PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale. Yes, do you remember when PlayStation was trying to capitalize on all of the success of Super Smash Bros. And they figured, why not create a similar game that plays very much like Smash Bros., except we have our first-party characters from our biggest franchises. And truthfully, I thought they did a pretty decent job. I was a little bummed we never got anything more from the Battle Royale, I guess, series that never really amounted to much. But I believe this game came out on both PS3 and Vita. It would be neat to get some kind of like PS5 remaster of sorts, but I wonder if there's any licensing issues given some of the characters here. But let's take a look at the trophies I did earn, and then the reason why I'm unable to actually unlock the platinum. Although I feel like there's probably quite a bit of the trophies I could still grind out, even if I didn't end up getting the platinum, because you can see here, while I feel like I played this game quite a bit back in the day, 11 out of 56. So I did not earn many of the trophies. I do wonder if I played this game more at a friend's house than I did actually on my own PS3. But you can take a look here. Let's actually just take a look at the guide itself. That should really kind of just give us a better indication of the types of trophies that you need to unlock. So some pretty typical tutorial combat stuff, playing the arcade mode with all of the different characters. This would actually be a lot of fun to grind out. Again, even if I can't unlock the platinum itself, it takes about 30 minutes to complete with each character, about 10 hours to unlock all of the arcade-based trophies. For the following, you need to select a character and perform their level 3 super attack at a required map. Not too bad, but then here we go. Stage 4, the dreaded online trophies, which I never ended up playing this online, so I've earned none of those. So, makes it a little bit more digestible, I guess, that I didn't grind out like 80% of this and was only missing like one specific online trophy. But definitely a bummer, as you can see down here. Notice this platinum is no longer obtainable due to server shutdowns. But all in all, even if you can't unlock the platinum, I don't think that's a reason to not revisit games at all, just because you can't unlock certain trophies. So this is a nice reminder for me that regardless of the platinum being never obtainable for me, it would be nice to jump back into PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale, maybe play some local multiplayer with my brother-in-law. And again, it wasn't even that difficult of a trophy list to begin with. 20 hours, or no, 20 playthroughs, obviously 17 hours to unlock. But let me know down below, did you enjoy this game back in the day? Do you have the platinum? And if not, how much does it hurt? Next, we have one that does hurt me quite a bit. I played this game so much on my PlayStation Vita, and that is Killzone Mercenary. Did anyone else play this? Does anyone remember this game? It is your typical first-person shooter, Killzone type experience on the Vita. The campaign, nothing to write home about. But I'll tell you what, the multiplayer, I played a ton of, as we'll see as we get into the trophy-specific things here. My gosh, this one hurts a lot, especially because I did end up earning a lot of the online specific trophies. You can see this one is ultra rare. Not many people earned or unlocked the platinum. But this was just, there's not many first-person shooters I can point to post Xbox 360 PS3 era that I've enjoyed or played for any reasonable amount of time. But Mercenary was one that I really went all in on. And I must have been back for a holiday break from college, because I was unlocking a lot of these around December 2015. That was like just before or maybe during my master's program. I can't really remember at this point, but yeah. Was playing this on a holiday break, probably cozy on up on the couch, drinking some coffee, watching some Christmas movies with my family. I would have needed to replay the game on veteran difficulty, collected all of the items in the game, find all intel items. But then even as you get into a lot of these multiplayer specific trophies, look at this. Perform a certain type of attack, do these other specific things, complete a multiplayer game round, complete 100 multiplayer game rounds. I unlocked that. I kid you not. Like, I played this a ton. But then, where are there some other specific ones? Here you go. Achieve a 10 kill streak in multiplayer. Never was able to do that. I had to have gotten close, though. Kill 10,000 enemies. I have to believe that's probably one you can do as part of the campaign. But at the very least, that kill streak is one that I was not able to do. A lot of these other ones, I feel like I could. So let's take a look at the guide here real quick. Yeah, co-op or solo, multiplayer only. And if I didn't have the dark mode version on, it'd probably be a lot easier to see which of these I've unlocked. So real quick, for the people that are sensitive to white light, I'm letting you know now, I'm going to toggle this off because I want to see which ones I have and have not earned. And take a look at that. I have 2 freaking trophies for multiplayer that I didn't get. Ace is high, attain an Ace Valor card ranking, and then achieve the 10 kill streak in multiplayer. That's tough to stomach, actually. That makes me feel much worse than when I originally was putting all this list together. That is a bummer. I wish even if it was like a completely dead community, I could just like shoot a message to my pals Blink and Matt Kuo or someone else in the trophy collecting community, and we could just knock this out super quick. But the fact that there are 2 remaining trophies from a multiplayer perspective, and I got all the other ones, that's tough. But that's how it goes. That is how it goes with trophy collecting. Sometimes you're just going to have a platinum trophy that's going to escape you due to these online servers being shut down. But I'll tell you what, online specific trophies aside, Killzone Mercenary is actually a really fun Vita game. Still worth picking up, although it probably is pretty pricey these days. Definitely would recommend checking that one out for anyone that has a PlayStation Vita. Now, another one that kind of bums me out is Everybody's Golf. If you've been following my channel for any amount of time, you know I'm a huge fan of the Hot Shots Golf series, and having 20 of 31 trophies is tough to stomach as well because there are online specific trophies. But where I might want some help from all of you, because I've researched this, I'm not entirely sure how much of a need I have for the online servers, because I have to defeat all of the versus characters and all secret versus characters. And when I was looking at the guide, they were basically saying that you need the online servers for some of those characters to actually appear on certain days, which I was capturing footage for a future video I'm doing related to Everybody's Golf and the Hot Shots Golf series, and I was still able to unlock characters I hadn't in the past. So again, I might need some trophy collecting community support here with this one, but we'll take a look. So introduction, reaching rank 7 in challenge tournaments, online server cut off. That's already happened. Unlock all secret characters, fishing, remaining revenge versus characters, like all of that stuff, all score a hole in one, you know, score a birdie, all of those types of things I've either done or I'm still able to do. online debut, I've already unlocked that trophy, but again, we're going to toggle this back to the non-dark mode version so we can see which ones I don't have. You can see here, I've done the online debut, but score a hole-in-one in a recorded official round. That might be something that's not obtainable because an official round might require you being connected to the online server, which has obviously been shut down. So some of these remaining ones in this list of 10 is a call out to all of you. If I'm missing something or I'm not reading this the right way, let me know, because I would love to grind out the rest of the Platinum Trophy in Everybody's Golf. But there is a Everybody's Golf Hot Shots Golf game coming out in September that I will undoubtedly want to grind the Platinum in, because I've never gotten a Hot Shots Golf Platinum, and I think it would be really fun to add to my list as we make our road to 200 Platinums. But a consistent theme or message that I will continue to communicate as part of this video is, just because you can't unlock the Platinum is not a reason not to play a lot of these games. Everybody's Golf is terrific, and I expect Everybody's Golf Hot Shots to be similar, but this one was a great game on the PlayStation 4. There's also a VR version that is a tremendous amount of fun, and I can actually earn the Platinum in that, so that might be one that I end up grinding out to have a nice VR Everybody's Golf Platinum. But still sucks that I can't get this one. At least I don't think so. Next up, we have a real gem of a game from the Xbox 360 PS3 era, Lord of the Rings Conquest, and it was developed by Pandemic Studios. So if you're familiar with the Star Wars Battlefront games of the PS2 Xbox era, same studio, same kind of game where you're in a arena from the Lord of the Rings universe. You're spawning in as either an archer, a rogue, a warrior, these different classes. You rack up a bunch of kills of orcs or humans, because you can play as both good and evil. And then if you're doing well enough, you can then spawn in as a hero or a villain. So Aragorn, Gandalf, if you're playing as the heroes, or even the Balrog in certain levels when you're playing through the evil campaign. Really fun game. Not sure how well it holds up today, but unfortunately, like some of these other games, there were online specific trophies that I probably earned quite a number of them on the 360, those achievements. But when it came to the PS3, you can see I played this game in 2019 for a bit, and there's no way that the servers were still up, at least not to my recollection at that time. So I have since been locked out of the Platinum. But yeah, so War of the Ring, just playing through the single player campaign, the tutorial levels, you have both good and evil campaign. So play through those, do some level specific things like killing a certain number of enemies, using certain weapons. The Rise of Sauron, that would be, I believe, the evil campaign. And then, unfortunately, here we have some of these multiplayer specific trophies. And it looks like we have potentially a European format for the date here. March 16th, 2010, EA has closed the servers for this game. As a result, the online trophies, along with the Platinum, are no longer available. And that seems really early. When did this game come out? Let's go back to this page real quick. There's no way. The servers closed after a year? I struggle to believe that. I'm probably reading this wrong. Regardless, really fun game, and I still will probably go back, grind out most of the other trophies, because I've been itching to replay this game and just get in there, play the both, again, good and evil campaigns. Just a lot of fun for someone that enjoyed those Star Wars Battlefront type games. And especially when you're going through the campaigns, you're playing through all of the major moments from the films. And even more interesting when you're playing the evil campaign, because Sauron takes the ring back, you kill the Fellowship and all of the major heroes. So kind of seeing that reverse history of the main events of the films is pretty neat to kind of play that out in video game form. Playing through those two different campaigns, 25 hours, really would have been, I think, a pretty simple Platinum, all things considered. Let's check out some of these multiplayer ones. Headshot kill 10 players. kill 15 players with a mage's lightning, 30 enemies in a ranked team deathmatch. I mean, this is pretty simple stuff. You know, nothing like play 1,000 multiplayer matches or anything like that. So, one, it would be nice to have, especially since it's a pretty ultra rare, and I've been meaning and want to get some type of Lord of the Rings Platinum, as we'll hear more about later, but I have yet to do it, so maybe down the road. Next up, we have a game that, truthfully, I forgot that I'd ever played, and that is Assassin's Creed 3 Liberation. This was kind of a side story companion piece to, of course, Assassin's Creed 3 proper. And again, I don't remember playing this at all. They have since made a remastered version, so as part of AC3 Remastered, you have both the base game on that as well as an updated console version of Liberation, and there are no online specific trophies for that. So I can earn the Platinum from a different version, but the one I started on Vita, I am no longer able to unlock that. So this is one where you're just playing through the main story. I'm going to go to the trophy guide here to take a look at those online specific ones. All right, so after taking a closer look at that guide, that is for the PS4 version. And I went back to my actual list on the Vita, and you can see down here, you need to complete 30 economic missions in multiplayer, which I obviously never did, and then reach the maximum player level in the multiplayer. Very, very interesting, kind of fascinating to think that handheld Assassin's Creed game had multiplayer associated with it. I know Brotherhood back in the day had a pretty cool, and I think relatively successful multiplayer mode with it, but crazy that the Vita game had multiplayer along with it, that naturally the servers have been shut down. And I'm actually playing through Assassin's Creed 3 Remastered now because I've never beaten that AC game before, which is terrific. I'm actually really enjoying my time with it. But a bummer that I won't be able to get the Platinum in the companion piece, at least the Vita version. But again, you can get the Platinum on the PS4 version. There's no multiplayer specific trophies. So a wrong that I can right at some point down the line, should I choose to do so. Next, we have one that kind of took me by surprise that there's any online specific trophies at all. That is Mad Max. And if you've been following my channel, you know the types of games that I like to play. Ubisoft open worlds, your Far Cry, your Assassin's Creed type experiences. This largely looks a lot like that type of a game where you're playing as the main character, Mad Max, massive open world, a focus on vehicle combat, you get to upgrade your car, and then when you get out of your car, you're fighting with people. It's kind of that Arkham, like Batman Arkham style brawler combat system. I think some survival mechanics as well, where you have to kind of like monitor the car's fuel and stuff like that, but like really looks like my type of game. I've only scratched the surface. I've probably played it for only about an hour. But as you can see, 2 out of 50 trophies. But when I pull up the guide here, you can see 85 hours. So a much bigger game than I would have anticipated. But you have this up to the task trophy, which kind of scroll all the way down here. Complete all non-repeating challenges. Due to the game server having been shut down in 2020, unfortunately, just a few years ago, the scrap crew challenges required to unlock this trophy can no longer be completed. The challenges that can no longer be completed are these 2 specific ones here, which I don't think would have been too terribly difficult to do. This trophy is obtained after completing all non-repeating challenges within the game. These are the ones that don't have, it's describing, I guess, where you'd kind of find them, what distinguishes them from the other types of challenges that you can complete in the game. These can be viewed under the Legend tab in the pause menu. Most of the challenges will come naturally, though some of these can be very annoying once you've reached the end game, which is why most challenges should be completed beforehand. So a real bummer. If I scroll back up here, you look at a lot of the trophies related to the main story, doing a lot of the other open world miscellaneous activities, and then I imagine all of this, reducing all threats in the regions. So I look at this of like clearing outposts in a Far Cry game. Like, this is my type of game and my type of trophy list. So it is a real bummer that I can no longer unlock this. But like I've said many times in this video, not going to stop me from playing the game, but I'm curious for others out there, trophy enthusiast or not. Have you played Mad Max? What are your thoughts on it? Let me know down in the comment section below. I'd love to hear from you, but definitely one I'd like to play at some point in the near future, for sure. Now, I'm kind of cheating with this one because I've already gotten the Nathan Drake Collection Uncharted games on PS4 for 1, 2, and 3. I'd love to grind out the entire series and eventually get 4 and Lost Legacy and Golden Abyss on Vita, but the PS3 versions of those games had online-specific trophies. I was not able to earn those before the servers being shut down, so definitely need to do that for Uncharted 4 before that server is shut down at some point, I imagine in the relatively near future. What also is kind of amazing to me looking back on my trophy history here is that I beat the game and I only earned 15 trophies. It's kind of amazing that you can get through those first 3 games, and probably even 4 for that matter, and unlock very few number of trophies because so many of them are related to, of course, picking up and collecting all of the treasures, and then killing enemies in a variety of different ways, leveraging all the weapons, doing it kind of like while you're hanging from a ledge. I love the Uncharted trophy list, truly I do, and I've even grown to appreciate playing the games on the harder difficulties because most of them require you to beat the games on crushing difficulty to secure the platinums, and I've even grown to enjoy playing the games that way as well. But as we scroll all the way down here, again, all very combat specific type stuff, and then look at this, complete 1 competitive multiplayer game, complete 1 cooperative multiplayer game. So 2 trophies, very simple, could have taken me probably 10 minutes to earn both of those back in the day, and I'm not one who tends to shy away from doubling up on platinums and re-earning them. It gives me an opportunity to go through another game or go through a game again that I love and continue to find enjoyment in unlocking that game's trophy list as well. I've done that with Spider-Man and Spider-Man Remastered on PS5. I've done it with Miles Morales, a number of other games as well. I would have happily done that for the original Uncharted trilogy as well. But to be honest, I might still boot these games up on PS3 at some point and unlock all these other trophies because I do enjoy the games that much, and their trophy lists are pretty fun. Next up, we have a game I actually haven't started or earned any trophies in, but one I'd love to play someday because I'm a huge fan of the Bond games, particularly on the PS2, GameCube, and Xbox. Nightfire, Everything or Nothing, Agent Under Fire, terrific games, just really, really fun third-person shooters, kind of A to B level design, making use of all of Bond's gadgets, and then you had your typical, you're in your Aston Martin type levels as well, and this is kind of, I think, the catch-all 007 game, kind of paying homage to a lot of the most popular Bond films over the years, starring all of the different Bonds. And I think, for the most part, a pretty standard trophy list, though you do have to beat the game on the hardest difficulty setting, collecting a lot of the game's collectibles, but then as you kind of get deeper down the trophy list, you will see that there are some online-specific ones that I never got around to playing because I have yet to play the game, but a bummer because it'd be really fun to have a James Bond Platinum in my list, but I think we'll have to wait until, I think the Hitman developers are actually making a James Bond game, which looks pretty good. So we'll have to wait around for that, but curious from other people, have you played any of the PS3 360 era Bond games like Quantum of Solace? I think Bloodstone is another one, and certainly we have Legends here as well. GoldenEye Reloaded, we have a couple of them actually listed right here. Although, check this out. Recent forum posts, online still active, custom unapproved servers. Something we might have to look into. If that's a real thing, shout out and call out to all of my trophy friends and enthusiasts. We might have to jump online and find a way to unlock some of those multiplayer specific trophies. All right, the last two to kind of round out these unobtainable platinums in the traditional sense due to online servers being shut down, I might actually still be able to earn, which is why, again, I'm going to call out to all of my trophy collecting friends out there. Might need your help. You might need to get on Discord and find a way to jump into these servers and find a way to unlock and earn these trophies that I still have remaining. Resistance Burning Skies on the Vita. Pretty good game. Run-of-the-mill, first-person shooter, your typical Resistance game. And I actually just recently earned the Resistance Retribution Platinum. via the Classics catalog on PS5. Not a great game by any stretch of the imagination, but a fun, simple third-base kind of cover shooter that I had a good time with. And I remember enjoying this game too. And we'll kind of look at the ones that I earned and what I still have missing. So very much complete the main story, kill 1,000 Chimera in single-player campaign, so I have to go back and grind that. Kill 50 enemies by detonating their heat stacks. Shouldn't be too terribly difficult. Kill any combination of 18 impalers or executioners. Not too hard. And then look at this. Complete 1 round of multiplayer. That's it. Should be relatively simple. And then online trophy still possible in 2024. So again, that was 9 months ago that people were talking about that in the forums. So maybe something that's still possible and something that you can still unlock. If we take a look at the guide here, be aware that you'll need the online pass to play multiplayer. You don't need a full lobby. 2 people is enough to start a match. So grab a friend or go to the gaming session to find help. So I definitely think this is something that's still doable, but gonna need to do some research and gonna need to phone a friend to see if we can actually get it done. And then to finally kind of round out this list of 10, we have Far Cry 4. This is another one that I have a great deal of confidence I'm still going to be able to earn, but when I was reading into some of these forums, people were saying that they can't connect to an online game session, but I have to feel, or I have to believe it's as simple as just requesting a friend to a game who's also playing Far Cry 4, and I think there's like 2 or 3 cooperative specific trophies that I need to unlock in order to secure this platinum. Like you can see this one here, perform a vehicle takedown from the passenger seat of a vehicle, campaign co-op only. And then there was another one too that I had saw earlier when I was taking a look at this list. There's at least 1 or 2 trophies that I'm going to need help and gonna need to phone a friend. So if you're willing and able to jump into Far Cry 4 with me, let me know, and we'll try and grind out the rest of this platinum, because I have the Far Cry 3 Classic Platinum. I'd love to grind out the remaining trophies in Primal and Far Cry 5 as well, because just a big fan of the Far Cry games. So this would be another fun one to add to the list. All right, we're shifting gears just a little bit here. We've talked about 10 platinums that are unobtainable because the online servers in most cases have been shut down. Now I want to shed some light on 5 platinums that I personally would love to have, but I just think are too difficult for their own good. I don't have the patience to grind them out. And maybe 1 or 2 that I still feel like at some point in my life I'll be able to secure. But I think the first one goes without saying. This is known among the trophy collecting community for just being unbelievably difficult. Wolfenstein 2, the New Colossus. I love these Wolfenstein games. New Order, The Old Blood, New Colossus, Youngblood is garbage. Not a good game. But the other 3 I love, and I'm waiting for Machine Games to hopefully finish out this trilogy. But again, if you're familiar with this platinum, you know we have this one here. And you get a freaking bronze for doing it, which is just... The developers knew what they were doing. Just like, what an FU to the player of like, beat the game on this difficulty, which is permadeath. So if at any point you die, you have to go back to the beginning of the game. And if you've played the Wolfenstein games on the hardest difficulty, like, it is no walk in the park. It is like grounded mode in Last of Us or crushing mode in Uncharted. Like, you catch a stray bullet or 2, you're done. You're dead. Game over. End of story, right? And so to play through this game on that difficulty, and I'm sure there's going to be 1 or 2 people in the comments section that is going to try and convince me that it's actually not as bad as you think it is. Maybe for you, that is the truth. But for me, there's no way I could ever get myself to do this. It's hard enough at times to get through some of those levels on crushing in Uncharted. I got the platinum in Wolfenstein, The New Order. There's no way I'll be ever able to do it in the New Colossus. Never say never, but never when it comes to this one. Next up, we have Hitman Blood Money. I'm actually a very big fan of this game. One of my most played games on the original Xbox and the Xbox 360. I don't think I've talked about this really at all on my YouTube channel, but I loved this game back in the day. You can see, started it, got no trophies, been meaning to go back and replay this game. But getting the platinum requires you to beat the game on the hardest difficulty, and the trophy guide says that's not too difficult of a task to do. 5 out of 10, 2 playthroughs, 1 on an easier difficulty setting, 1 on a harder one to kind of get yourself warmed up to the controls, the level layouts, all of those types of things, 20 hours. I'm more calling this out as a personal challenge to myself of maybe wanting to go revisit this game and see if I can get the platinum. And might even be a fun one to kind of pass the controller back and forth with my brother-in-law, because this is one that one of my good friends growing up, he and I would do that. We would go into these levels. Each time we died or didn't complete the level the way we wanted to, we would pass the controller back and forth in kind of like a Dark Souls, Elden Ring type fashion after every death. Might be a fun way and more palatable way to get through the platinum trophy on this. But curious for anyone else out there, have you played Hitman Blood Money? Are you a fan of this game, and do you have the platinum trophy? But one I'd definitely love to add to my list at some point down the road. Among my friend group, I feel like I am the biggest fan of the Middle-earth games, both Shadow of Mordor and Shadow of War. I still feel like these games do not get enough love, and it's a shame. I think Monolith Productions or WB Games shut down Monolith, so I don't think we'll ever see more of the Middle-earth games, which is a real shame, because what they've been able to do and create with the Nemesis system and using that with the Lord of the Rings property was amazing. And I've got most of the trophies in Shadow of War and Shadow of Mordor, but the tough thing with these games is that, especially in this one, when you get to the end, and if you're familiar with the Nemesis system, it's kind of like a chessboard of sorts where you command the Orc and Uruk-hai armies, right? And so once you've taken control of the map, it's difficult to do these very specific Nemesis system type challenges, if you will, to earn these trophies. So like right here, resurrect a follower captain. I can't do that anymore because I can't go and kill my own people now. The ones that I've kind of taken control on or of. Turn all of the war chiefs, I can't speak now. Turn all of the war chief's bodyguards into spies, then confront them. Again, these are all really fun challenges that make use of the Nemesis system in fun ways, but I'm kind of like locked out of doing any of these challenges, and that's pretty much all of the remaining trophies for myself. So a real bummer. What I would love to have happen, and just given the studio shutting down, I don't even know if it's possible, these games have not been ported or remastered for current gen consoles. So we've not gotten a duo pack of Mordor and Shadow of War for PS5 Series X. If that were to ever happen, I would be much more conscious as I'm going through the game to ensure that I'm unlocking these trophies. Otherwise, I'm going to have to restart the game from scratch and then just be mindful and make sure that I earn those remaining trophies. So never say never, but unless they do a remaster, I doubt I'm going to go back and play those games anytime soon. But again, never say never, because I've been itching to go back and replay those games at some point. The only Final Fantasy Platinums that I have are Final Fantasy 16. I'd love to earn the Platinum in Final Fantasy 15. I'd also love to get it in 13, but I've heard that this grind is brutal. Taking a look at the guide here, 90 hours, 1 playthrough. There's only one thing missable, which is just making sure that you collect everything that you need to in the game. And just a massive, massive grind. I think you actually have to max out all of the Crystarium for each of the characters in the game, which, as long as that would take, I've mentioned in a different video that the Crystarium system is one of my, if not favorite ways of upgrading characters in any RPG ever. Just kind of the dopamine hit that you get from popping each of those like Crystarium crystals for each of the characters is so satisfying. And so to be able to just throw on a podcast and just grind out this game when I'm not really feeling like playing anything else would be, I think, doable. And what kind of sucks is back during 2020, you can see here when I go back to, you can see January of 2020, February, like just before COVID was hitting, I was replaying this game on PS3 because I had originally beaten it on the 360, and I'm having a good time. I actually had just gotten to a point in the game where I found a perfect spot to just grind out tons of Crystarium. So I was just going back and forth, doing this, respawning the enemies, just maxing out Crystarium right and left, and then I got the dreaded yellow light of death, and my PS3 burned out and fried and just died. And I think my disc is actually still stuck in the console. I've never been able to get it out. So a real shame, a real bummer that I wasn't able to export that save and transfer it to a different PS3. If they ever remastered this trilogy to current gen consoles, which is something that, please, for the love of God, Square Enix, you've basically gotten every other Final Fantasy game workable and playable on current gen hardware. Let's get a remastered trilogy of Final Fantasy 13. I know you can play these games on Series X via backwards compatibility, but you can't when it comes to the PlayStation version. So let's get that done. And if they were to do that, I could see myself spending that 90 hours and grinding out 13 on PS5. But curious if anyone else out there has the Final Fantasy 13 Platinum. It's definitely one I would love to add to my list. And last, but certainly not least, we have Yooka-Laylee and the Impossible Lair. Yes, I have every trophy in this game except beating that final level right here. Defeat capital B at the end of the game. They have since added checkpoints to that tough level. There are so many different ways you can make it easier, but when it comes to me and platformers, I just don't tend to be good under those high pressure situations with all kinds of craziness going on. I have not played Super Meat Boy or stuff like Celeste when it comes to like precision platformers. That's just not my cup of tea. Not that I don't enjoy them necessarily, I'm just not that good at them. So I need to exercise the Yooka-Laylee muscle. I need to get back in there because I promised my good friend Blinkum that if he ever played Wolfenstein: The New Order and beat it, then I would go back, play Impossible Lair, and finally beat the game and unlock the Platinum. So I am a man of my word. I have installed the game on my PS5. I've been trying so hard to get back in there and learn the level and try to get through it. I have not been successful. I've not been able to do it, but my hope and my plan is to earn this Platinum by the end of the year. So when I do a look back, as I will be doing every year forward, of all the Platinums I earn in any given year, Impossible Lair will be on that list. You better count on it. All right, everyone, that is my list. 10 unobtainable Platinums for the most part due to online servers being shut down, as well as 5 Platinums that are so difficult that I don't know if I'll ever earn them, but there's a few in there, like we just talked about, that I might still end up grinding at some point in securing those Platinums. But let me know down in the comment section below, what are some Platinums that you've been locked out of due to online specific trophies, or just other Platinums that you'd like to earn at some point, but you just don't know if you can get yourself to do it because they're too difficult or too time consuming. I'd love to hear from you down in the comment section below. I want to thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you in my next one.